Hey everybody, it's Trags alongside Josue Pavon of WEEI and CLNS Media. The Celtics get it done in game number 7, 112-96 over the Milwaukee Bucks. Josue, I thought the biggest player of the game certainly was Al Horford. He had 26 points and 8 rebounds, but it was what he did in terms of really establishing his dominance, his will early in this game 7, driving to the basket, being a force around the rim on both ends of the court that really set the tempo for the Celtics.
Absolutely, Trags. It made all the difference, especially in the beginning, of course. You know, he really did set the tempo, and he also just got really comfortable throughout the night. It just seemed like there was nothing that was going to slow him down. I mean, he scored those crucial 10 points in the third quarter, which gave them a good cushion heading into the final frame. And I thought one of the most important things he sort of had to do, one of many, of course, was get Thon Maker's confidence as low as possible. And that's exactly what he did. He took it to him, Trags. He drove right past him, finished at the rim. He took him down to the post, backed him up, finished right in front of his face. And I felt like from the second quarter, Thon Maker just really didn't have the level of confidence that we've seen ever since Game 3.
14 points and 7 rebounds in that first half as the Celtics took a 50-42 lead. But as you said, it was Al Horford really establishing himself just when the Celtics needed it, because Jaylen Brown in this game played just 16 minutes all in the first half. He left late in the first half with a sore right hamstring, did not return. He came out to try and stretch it out right before the third quarter began. He was not cleared to play. He went to the exercise bike, and then Brad Stevens said in a pinch he was told the Celtics could have used him in the fourth quarter, but better safe than sorry, especially with the 76ers on tap for Monday night. Celtics will need him if he's able to go in the second series.
They'll need him big time. Brad Stevens didn't want to give us an update, just didn't know, didn't have enough information to give us an update after the game, so we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully, like Brad Stevens says, hopefully he can play. If not, we'd have to continue without him, add him to the list of names of guys that have, haven't been able to help this team throughout the postseason. But hopefully that's not the case. We did see him on that stationary bike, sort of working it out, trying to keep it loose, so hopefully that helps moving forward. If he does miss game 1, I mean, it would be a tough blow for the Celtics, but series-wise, we're hoping that he'll be able to bounce back in game 2 and help this team.
Well, Terry Rozier was also very huge. We'll get to Semi Ojeleye in just a moment. Semi Ojeleye was the player that Al Horford thinks we should be talking about. Really, he was the most important player. But I want to talk about real quick, Terry Rozier. He had 26 points. He was your closeout player in that fourth quarter.
Absolutely, and he really took it to him. I mean, those back-to-back three-pointers just devastated the Bucks. Killers, 2 back-to-back threes that really just sent the message that this one was over. And of course, Al Horford reminded fans after his 2-point, he looked like the Vince Carter. After you won the dunk contest, it's over. So, but that was Terry Rozier who got that going first. Really got it going offensively. He really this crowd just does something to Rozier, and I think when he's in the moment, there is nothing or no one that can really stop him, and we continue to see that every time he plays in this building. I mean, all 4 games throughout the series, he's given the Celtics something special, and tonight was no different. Of course, what he was able to do as him and Al Horford led the way in scoring, and both nearly combined for 60 points. I mean, that just speaks volumes for how good they can really be in this building.
Giannis Antetokounmpo got his points here in game number 7. He had 22 points, but really was not a dominant force. And the reason, Semi Ojeleye, both Joe Prunty, the Bucks head coach, and Al Horford, especially after the game, saying that Semi Ojeleye was the difference. He played physical with the Greek Freak and really kept him from taking over the game really from the start here in Game 7.
Yeah, absolutely, Trags. It really reminded me of something that Brad Stevens said mid-season when he said, when people were asking him, hey, you seem to be giving this guy sort of minutes here and there, giving him an opportunity. What's been driving you to do that? And Brad Stevens said, look, this kid has the tools to be one of the best defenders in this league. And he was absolutely serious when he said that. And that's a big thing that I think we were sort of not expected to see him start, but I think we all sort of knew he would get an opportunity at some point in this postseason with all the guys that he has missing on his roster. And here he is starting lineup. The last 3 games just really has made Giannis uncomfortable. Yes, he did manage to score 20 points, but I mean, we've seen Giannis, especially throughout this entire series, when he feels really comfortable, he can really take over a game. And Semi Ojeleye just made it really tough for him, along with other guys, but no one was in front of Giannis more than Semi Ojeleye tonight.
Props to Brad Stevens for the adjustment of the series. I think putting in Ojeleye in the middle of this series and making him a bigger force was the coaching move of the series. I don't think there's any question. Now we move ahead to what's up next. And that's the Philadelphia 76ers, a team that has been transformed. Everybody knows they've won 20 of their last 21 games. They are on an absolute roll. No team ever finished the regular season with a 16-game winning streak until Philly did it this year. They beat Miami in 5 games, pretty convincingly so, as a matter of fact. And now, what does Brad Stevens do to fend off Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid?
Another tough assignment for Ojeleye. It doesn't get easier here in the postseason. I think he'll be the primary defender for him. Of course, he'll throw
on
Embiid as well. But what Ben Simmons is going to be able to do, obviously he's a playmaker, can really get his guys going. It's going to be a really tough matchup for this team. A lot of people looking into this one and have the Sixers favored. But I think the Celtics will put up a really good fight. I think that if I was a betting man, you probably give the edge to the 76ers, but I do see another series that could go the max. A lot of adjustments that are going to be made throughout the entire stretch. But the home court will definitely help the Celtics big time in this one. And when I say that, of course, Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum, the people that I've mentioned, throughout this video, guys who really rally behind this crowd, I think will be crucial in this one.
You know what I think the difference is going to be in this series, Josue? I think Philly's a much tougher team than what we saw with the Milwaukee Bucks. And I think when they get down, I don't think they're going to fold the tents. I mean, Milwaukee made a couple of runs in games 5 and 7, and I asked Chris Middleton about this, and he said they just ran us off our spot and never allowed us to get the shot. I think Philly will find a way to get their shots. If they miss them, I think Celtics have a chance to win the series. If Philly hits their shots, I don't think there's much of a shot.
Yeah, defensively, too. This is a much different team.
Oh, much
different team than we're seeing out of the Bucks, out of the first round. So it's going to be tough. I mean, obviously, Joel Embiid changes everything. I mean, offensively, they do have shooters that can complement Ben Simmons. So it's going to be really tough. Jaylen Brown will be crucial, I think. If Jaylen Brown is unable to go the entire series, or if he had to miss a big chunk of it, that's a drastic blow to this team. So we'll have to wait and see.
They've been through it all season long. It's only appropriate that the Celtics here in the playoffs have to go through it once more. Well, that is a wrap here inside TD Garden after Game 7. The Garden Report, powered by CLNS Media. The Celtics take care of business. They beat the Milwaukee Bucks 112-96, 26 points apiece for Al Horford and Terry Rozier. Next up, the Philadelphia 76ers starting with Game 1 here at TD Garden on Monday night. He is Josue Pavon. I'm Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.